Because out of their desperation to retain their job, they say anything and they don't know the harm it does. They don't face reality. Let them release Nnamdi Kanu today. Let Soludo call a meeting. Even his own commissioners will abandon him to go and listen to Nnamdi Kanu. Why does this young man draw a lot of crowd? Now, the only thing that people will try to fake is something that will draw people to them. Simon Ekpa was able to do what he did, whatever they said he did, because some people are desperate. They are looking for leaders. They now had to follow Simon Ekpa when Nnamdi Kanu was in prison. Are they looking at, okay, look at the number of people following the so-called Simon Ekpa and the number of people following Soludo, even as a governor. So we must face reality.
Welcome, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world. I welcome you once again to this amazing platform. If you have not yet subscribed to this very channel, please kindly subscribe, like, and share this program to all platforms. Share to family and friends, share to everyone that is close to you, so that this information will go far. In this very program, I'm about to share with you some very vital information regarding the sit-at-home in Biafra land, the atrocity of the zoo against Biafrans, and the propagandas against Biafra. This very video is coming from the conventional media. I want you to pay attention to the explanations and the arguments on this very video. It is going to teach you a lot of things. So many secrets will be revealed. Your eyes will open. Things that you never knew before, you are going to know it after watching this program. And you will understand why it is very, very necessary that the Biafrans has exited the zoo called Nigeria. There is no going back. The United States of Biafra have come to stay. Accept it or leave it. Know this and know peace, that the United States of Biafra has gone for good.
Assembly, this Sharia thing came up with the grazing law. And because of the content and what the framers of this constitution wrote, in fact, there was a big outcry. In that of the grazing bill, it was stated that wherever a Fulani herder sets his foot, it has become his own, and you cannot go to police or to court to challenge it. Imagine such a law in Nigeria.
A bill?
Yes.
It was a bill, okay, but it didn't sell through.
Yeah, yes. Until people said, what? I remember discussing this in somewhere. And I took a critical analysis. Today now is about Sharia court. Please, whom are you going to bring that court to? Because the last time I checked, we don't have predominantly Muslim community down here in the south. And I'm sure by the time they are done with the southwest, they'll go to the southeast. Do you see that when something is happening, some of us, you see, I don't look at things on the face value. Moses, when these people were spreading all over the country, they were laying foundation for this type of thing. They will tell you they have a large community of Muslims in Imo State, in Enugu, so they need a court to take care of their own need. You can see how people deliberately plant anarchy. Just because Christians have slept on their right, we are not talking. We believe that God will say the battle is his own and vengeance belongs to him. This principle is costing us a lot. If not, how can somebody wake up to introduce such a thing in a secular state like Nigeria?
A secular state, indeed.
Then America, where you copy this thing, please, do you have such a thing there? Because we should look at where we copy this democracy. Do you have such a thing there? A court for different people. So they will start cutting people's hand here, Nabi. Moses. They will start cutting people's hand here. Is that not the ultimate end here? When you steal a chicken, they'll cut your hand. When you steal a goat, they cut you. Is that what we are going to see here in this age and time? People should be very wary of Moses. I'm not joking. This is not a joke anymore. You just wake up, they're even giving a date and venue. And you are telling me that there won't be problem that day? You see what Muslim ticket is costing us? And the people in authority are pretending as if it is nothing, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is very, very wrong. In our constitution, there is no provision for such, especially in the Southeast. If you are saying you want to use it to take care of your tradition and culture, nothing wrong. But introduce this in a place where you don't need it. What are you trying to do? Tell me. Okay, if you have a problem with somebody who is a Christian and somebody who is a Muslim in Ibadan now, in Oyo State, what happened? You will now tell me that your Muslim brother must be taken to your Sharia court. Then the Christian will be taken where Moses, Mr. Koro. Then the Christian will be taken where Moses, Mr. Koro. Can you see anarchy?
Common law.
No, two of them are having issue. This one is a Muslim. Okay. This one, so where will you take the matter to? Where will you take it to? You will not tell me, no, this man is a Muslim. I cannot be tried in a secular court. Then this one is a Christian. He must be taken to our court. Is that not anarchy in the making? People should be very careful. I am telling you. You see, God has already, helped us to come this far. If they continue to push and push, one day God will leave us alone. And then we are going to see what we are looking for. The one they put in our constitution, we are still struggling to come out of it. Now they want to add more. They want to add more. It's not fair. It's not fair.
Yes, quite unfortunate that we are witnessing this in our lifetime. I spoke about it a bit in the morning, the opening banter during the morning show, and I did share my concerns with my colleagues. It's like I said, it's gradually coming down south, and unfortunately, we tend to be living in denial of what is happening. If you talk about coming down south, look at what is happening in the Middle Belt. Communities have been sacked, overtaken, and renamed by a certain group of people, and we still keep saying, look, there is no agenda. Clearly, if you look with a prism into the future, even without a crystal ball, you see that there's clearly an agenda. Even the way the war against insecurity has been prosecuted over time, for the past 20 years or so. And like I said also in the morning, it was when Yeri Ahmed Sani became the governor of Zamfara State that this issue of Sharia law, came to the fore. It had always existed, but he now wanted to make it a state law. And the moment he broached the idea, Borno State jumped on it. Other states started jumping, Katsina and all of that. That was essentially what gave rise to Boko Haram. Because it was at that time that, what's his name? This guy that, the first leader of Boko Haram, Muhammad Yusuf, started now preaching. That was the essence of Boko Haram. We are against Western education. And now wanted to expand Sharia across the north. But at that time, Obasanjo kept quiet.
Very big mistake.
Obasanjo thought that it was something that was going to filter,
big mistake.
And got up until this point where, apart from Boko Haram, we have ISWAP, we have Lakarua, we have banditry and all of that. And if you look at it, if you examine it closely, you discover that all these things are weaved around religious sentiments. And the moment they are weaved around religious sentiments, it becomes a clear and present danger. We know what religion is to our people. Like if Karl Marx, I always say that, looks like Karl Marx had Nigeria in mind when he said that religion is the opium of the masses. Because in no other place have I seen it expressed deeply in terms of content and practice than any other part of the world. And this is what is playing out before us. A Sharia court in Oyo State. That is how it starts. And mind you, like 2 weeks ago, they appointed an Igbo man as an imam at the Central Mosque in Abuja. We have had militancy. Unlike the Christian doctrine where, you express it, you try to persuade people and all of that. But on the other hand, it's militant evangelism.
By force.
By force, and it doesn't go with us here. So Like the question Barrister asks now, if there's a crisis between people in the same family, who adhere to different religions, where is it going to be adjudicated?
Oh.
So it's a clear issue. And like I said again in the morning, Martin Luther King said, look, in the end, it is not the actions of my enemies that will matter. It is the silence of my friends.
Exactly.
People tend to keep quiet about this thing. And I see it is more like the agenda that we talk about is more like an elephant in the living room. People don't like to talk about it. But it is there. Everybody sees it, but nobody wants to talk about it. That's what I see that is playing out. And it is good that we have reactions from people from the Southwest saying no. The youths in particular are saying no, you cannot implement it. Nigeria is a secular state.
I thank God Obasanjo is still alive. Because if he had left this in the board and forget selfish interest, maybe he would have spared us this problem. But when Yerima, that senator who went to go and marry a 13-year-old girl and told us it is their culture and tradition. Some of these things in our constitution, I was thinking that some people who were there before would have said no. But they allowed it for what? Sentiment. Sentiment that a girl of 10 years is not supposed to see her first menses in her father's house. It's a taboo. Who told you? So by 10 you should marry her off. And be doing what with a man of 40, 60 years. A girl of 10 years. These are things they want to introduce to you now. Because you cannot choose this and leave this. That is the problem, Mr. Okoro. They want to introduce this into you here. You ask yourself, other people that practice this, how did it benefit them? Do you know that is deep in this thing? What is the level of illiteracy? What is the level of education? What is the level of understanding there? These are one of the things that comes with this thing, but these people don't want to hear. It doesn't concern them. Something that you are practicing somewhere, it failed woefully. You want to introduce it to me, and you think there will not be problem. There will be problem, oh. Let nobody be. There will be problem. You say this thing, we are begging them not to sheath their sword and keep this thing to them. They want to force it or not. There will be problem if they insist.
All right then. So go ahead.
You see, insist.
All right then. So go ahead.
You see, it's just a way of flying kites. I know Oyo town, and I also know Oyo state to some extent. You see, these people, most of them, since they left school, they had never had any job other than to come up with this dust sometimes, and they make money from some of these Eastern blocks. I mean, the Kuwaitis, Qatari, the Saudis, and all that. They make money from them. That's why they always want to foment trouble. And when they foment trouble, have you ever imagined somebody going on a protest and there is a cameraman employed by that person? For what purpose? It's just to show the people that the assignment you gave us, we have concluded. And as a result, you need to pay us more to do more. There was a time somebody took money from Saudi Arabia and they said he was going to build a mosque in Iwo. He ended up building that mosque in Iwo Road. And when they came, they were heading towards Iwo. He said, this is the mosque. And it took more than 10 times the amount he used in building that mosque. And he said, Iwo Road is also the same thing as Iwo. You know? So these people, most of them are charlatans. There's no way Sharia can work in the Southwest. There is no way. But one thing is very clear. One thing is very clear. You see, an average Southwesterner is liberal to a point. But when you push that person to the wall, the intensity of his aggression, you will not imagine it. I can bet you. It's not going to happen.
At least
you saw Wild West.
I'm happy you talked. Yeah, I'm happy you talked about when you push somebody to the wall, and the person is going to react. It is the reaction that we are talking about.
Wow.
You know, because people will always push. I've told you this thing is militant evangelism, and when you talk about the Wahhabi form of that religion, you know, look at what Saudi Arabia did in Europe, across France, across Belgium. You know what happened in France, you know, when the newspaper people that were attacked, you know. There are certain parts of France that the traditional French police is unable to go to arrest him. And look at UK is crying out.
So even though it might seem like a kite right now, but it's not lifted the ball.
But let me tell you why I said it's a kite. You see, they just want to test waters. More so, there is crisis in Oyo town over the Obashi, the traditional ruler. You know, and so a lot of things will infiltrate until that crisis is resolved. And Oyo people, I know, will not in any way allow such things to happen.
You know, when you say they will not allow it to happen, the history repeats itself because people don't learn from it. It happened in Kwara now. It happened in Ilori. Didn't it happen? It also happened in part of the Oyo that is even in Ibadan.
Even in Kogi. No. These are Yoruba states. Where is it in Ibadan that it happened?
Don't you have Muslims? I understand that.
The fact that we have Muslims does not mean that...
Hold on. In Kwara, Ilorin, can any Yoruba man become the emir of Ilorin? Even though it's a Yoruba state. If you look at the old Oyo Empire and their map, Kogi and Kwara are part of that empire. Today, can they be counted as a part of the Southwest?
This topic is hot and dicey, you know. So let's move away from it.
Okay, let's touch on the Punch newspaper now. There are
independent state of Biafra will be run by people who care about the masses, just as the Biafra Republic of Nigeria is doing today. That is the only alternative. It doesn't matter. You can hate Master Simon, but you can like him. He is standing on the solid ground, doing what he has to do to save and rescue his people. The only message Master Simon had is self-defense, and it is not a crime. International law supports it. African law supports it. Nigerian law itself supports self-defense. How is it that when Biafrans begin to defend themselves, it becomes a crime? It is not. We are very much aware that there are terrorists in uniform operating in Biafra land. Members of Boko Haram recruited into the military. We have seen them in videos, on confessions. So what else do you want us to wait? You want us to all be exterminated before you want us to fight back? I thank God for the Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Biafra. Biafran people are going to defend themselves. If it's going to take everyone out to defend Biafra, we will do that till the last man standing. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama continue to guide our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama continue to guide our Liberation Army. Biafra government, peace, progress, unity and equity. We move airborne